Hello everyone, this is part 2 of a video I shared a couple of days ago, well 3 or 4 days ago actually. I was sent a flower press to try by a company called Abu FX. I did a quick tour of my garden and we picked some flowers and they are inside this flower press. Now what's unique about this is that the press is held together with these Velcro straps. I've never seen a press like this before because most of the ones that I've seen have nuts and bolts. My large one does. So this has been sitting for 4 days. I pressed the flowers on Thursday. It's now Tuesday afternoon. So I'm just going to take a sneak peek. Now it says in the instructions that flowers should be ready in 2 to 3 days. Normally, I find that flowers take at least a couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see what they look like. So let's undo these straps. Now, what I have been doing over the past few days is tightening them up just so that this press is held together as tightly as possible. But apart from that, that's all I've done. I haven't taken a look to see how the flowers are coming along. So time for the reveal. Let's see. And for anybody who wants to see part 1, I'll leave the link to the video in the description box below. But, oh my goodness me, they are dried. Gosh, I didn't think they would be. As I've said, normally I find that that flowers take a couple of weeks. But, yeah, they look dried to me. They are definitely dried. Gosh. Well, there we go. That's stolen my thunder because I was convinced that I was going to have to put them back under for another few days. Now, I have pressed some larger flowers, so it'll be interesting to see how those have turned out. These are completely dry. Isn't that pretty? That's just beautiful. And this one here as well. I'm going to have to carefully remove these. Well, I'm really happy about that. It has definitely worked and everything is nice and flat. Aren't these gorgeous? But yeah, those are definitely dry as well. The leaves have got a slight curl, but they're definitely dry. Even these thicker ones are dry as well. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. I put some fuchsias in here, and those are the ones that I'm expecting to have taken the longest, but those ones are dry. Those aren't the fuchsias. Let's see, I think the fuchsias were at the bottom. Here are the fuchsias. So let's see how these have done. Yep, those are dry as well. Absolutely beautiful. Now, these were red hot pokers. And again, these were quite juicy. Now, mine had fallen apart and they were like this before I put them into the press. But all of these are dried as well. Wow, I'm stunned because I really didn't think they would be. And that's it. So those are the contents of my press. As you can see, I've separated all of my flowers from the leaves. I just think they've turned out absolutely beautifully. I'm really impressed as well with how much colour they've kept. These are just gorgeous. I've got these ones here as well. And then, of course, we've got these ones. I've just got these on a piece of the blotting paper at the moment. And I do want to try and piece some of these together to make them into whole flowers. Before I get on to making a project with some of the flowers, I just want to show you how well everything has held up. The foam sheets are absolutely fine. These are the blotting paper sheets. A couple of them have got marks on. This one here, for instance, this one's a bit dimpled and creased, and this one. The rest have remained unmarked and relatively flat, so you know, definitely we can use those again. And the thick padded boards are all absolutely fine. I've got 4 here. Of course, I've got 2 to my left hand side because those are where I've displayed my flowers. The boards are absolutely fine. I would say we've got a tiny bit of warping going on, but I think that's because we've had the straps wrapped around the left and right hand side. These are not solid wood. These are composite, but yeah, I think everything is good. First thing I want to show you is what to do if something like this happens to some of your flowers. Of course, I've got some fading, so I want to show you how to fix that and how to piece these back together. A piece of paper here with some flecks in it. This was gifted to me by my friend Pam. I thought this would go quite well because of the flecks. I'm just going to cut out a 2.5 inch circle, so this will give me something to work on. Now I'm going to use the tweezers that were included in the kit, and what I am going to do is just colour these. Now let me just see which end is which, because of course these were bright red before I pressed them. So I'm just going to use an alcohol marker. Whoops, and you see I've lost one of these, and that's absolutely fine. We can glue this back together, but I'm just going to add some alcohol marker. Let's just press this down with my tweezers. Just be really gentle about this. It's probably better actually if I tap it. Let's just move that one out of the way. Let me show you the difference that the alcohol ink has made. So those are the ones that I've added alcohol marker to, and these are the original ones. So you can see it's definitely brought some of that beautiful vibrancy back. Now I am going to use the tweezers to pick this up, and I'm going to glue it onto my background here. And so let me just have a look. I'm going to add a tiny weeny amount of glue just to the back here, and I'm using Aleene's tacky glue that you can see I've decanted into this fine nozzle bottle. So I'm just adding a little bit along the length of the petal. Use my tweezer again. Oops, I've lost another petal, but that's okay. Try and put that in the center and press this down. And it's just a case of piecing the petals back together so that we don't waste this beautiful flower. It is fiddly, I'm not going to lie, but it's definitely doable. So let's do a patchwork job. So if you end up with flowers where the petals have come apart, it doesn't matter, just glue them back on and nobody would ever know. Oh, one salvaged red hot poker, isn't that pretty? To protect my flower, I've just brought my camera a bit closer as well, so hopefully you can see it better. I'm going to attach the ply of a white catering napkin. I've just got a bit of glue on there, but that's okay. I'm going to use some matte medium. Mine is the Winsor & Newton Galleria. I'm just going to put a little bit on here like this, and I'm using a really soft brush, and I'm just, oh, you see some of the dye is coming off. This is supposed to be an alcohol marker. I was going to scrap this part of the video because I thought, oh, I've spoilt it, but actually I really like that. So I am just pressing it out in sort of kind of stripes, starting at the center and working my way outwards. Let's not waste this. I think the Spectrum Noir perhaps is a watercolor marker. I could have sworn that they were alcohol markers, but I must have got it wrong. But I actually think that this might be one of those happy accidents. Because I really like the way that this looks. The colour goes really well. There we go, that will do fine. And then I'm just going to pop my napkin over the top and just press this down really gently. And then I'm going to apply some more matte medium over the top. And I'm just going to press that, spread that out again. Just being really gentle because I don't want to tear the napkin. Of course, it's really fragile. Just make sure that if you can see any air bubbles, I can see some around the edge, that you smooth those out with your brush. Pressing down those air bubbles, you can see where they are. You can see a couple on the petals here, just pressing them out. And that, I think, will do fine. Just make sure that that's firmly attached in the middle. So I'm just going to set this off to one side just for it to dry. But doesn't that look pretty? Let's have a look and see what we can do with some of these smaller petals. These are just so pretty, the little buttercups, the daisies, just so sweet. I found these cabochons that I've had in my stash for a long time. These were gifted to me in Happy Mail years ago. I've also pulled out some of the fine handmade papers that I used for my batik project that I shared on Sunday. So I thought some of these might make really good backgrounds for some of my smaller flowers. I'm going to start off by trying this one, these two here perhaps. Now the cabochons are quite small, so I was hoping to be able to use one of these yellow flowers, but it's just not going to fit. So I'm going to try one of the buttercups to start off with. shall we do it? We'll do it on in fact, no, I'm going to do it on this paper here. So let's have a look. Now, I've never used these before, so this is trial and error. Now, I've seen these in places like the Works and Pound Shop and places like that. They're relatively inexpensive, and oh, whoops-a-daisy. Have I got that right? Just be really careful where you're positioning it. Now, I think I'm going to need some extra glue. I'm going to try my my Beacon 3-in-1. In fact, actually, this isn't Beacon. This is Collal glue that I've decanted. Just because, of course, I've covered up all of the glue with my flower. So let's put some of this on. But this is just fabric glue. And let's stick that down to the paper like this. Then I can just cut around it, and then once this is dry, I'm just going to use an emery board just to file the excess away. But how pretty is that going to be as a little embellishment for my journals? Let's try another one. Now, this was a piece of paper that was gifted to me from my friend Pam. Let's try a little daisy. Now, I am just wondering whether if I take one of these off, hold it on the side so that I'm not getting my fingers in the sticky. Let me just bring my flowers over. And then I need this upside down, don't I? Otherwise, I'm going to end up with my daisy upside down. Let's see if I can position this in the centre using my tweezers. Yeah, you see, that was much easier. And again, gosh, this is fiddly. Again, I'm just going to use my fabric glue just to apply a little bit more around the outside. I'm going to add some around the outside as well, just to be on the safe side, but I definitely want some over the flower because that's where I've covered up the glue. Hopefully none of this is going to show. And then I think I'll have this on this part of the paper here, and again I'll just cut around that. I absolutely love this ice decorating gadget, by the way, so whoever it was that recommended that I decant my glue into one of those, you were exactly right. Thanks for the tip, even though it's taken me probably about 2 years before I've decided to pay for it because they are expensive. And I'm just putting these onto a piece of, well, in fact, this is the backing off a sticker sheet. So of course, you know, this is non-stick. I'm just going to do one more just because I want to try one of these beautiful purple flowers. So again, I need to make sure that I turn it upside down so that the right side is on my cabochon. Stick it on. There we go. These are actually quite sticky. And then again, I'm just going to apply a little bit more glue. Let's just pop it here so that I'm not wasting any of this beautiful paper. As my cabochons are drying, I'm just going to do one more. I've cut another circle out of a piece of handmade paper. This is quite a thick handmade paper. Again, this was one that Pam sent me, and I've decided I want to use one of these beautiful purple flowers. It's the perfect size. What I'll do first, though, is cover it in matte medium. So let's try matte medium on this one here. And let's grab some brushes. I'm just going to pour it straight out of the container. I'm doing it on the wrinkly side with the flowers on. So let's just get a good coating of this all the way over the top. I need a bit more down here. This is just so that my flower sticks. And then, of course, I need to decide what I'm going to use these for. I just think they'll make the most beautiful embellishments for using in my journal. So let's pop this on top, try and get it centralised. I'm going to pour glue over it again, and then I'm going to put another piece of napkin over the top. So I'm going to have to be careful because this brush isn't as soft as the other one. I think I've taken the other brush off to the sink. Make sure you wash your brushes after you've used glue on them, because otherwise they'll just dry rock hard and they will be ruined. So there we go. We've got a good coating of glue. And I'm going to use a fresh piece of deli paper, another piece of napkin. So let's just pop that over the top, and then another layer of the glue. And again, I'm just going to have to be patient and allow this to dry. Right. You can see I'm doing exactly the same as I did before, patting it. I just can't stress how gentle you need to be, just because, you know, this is a very, very thin layer of napkin here. And if you brush too hard, you're just going to tear it. This is what my embellishments look like. And as you can see, I've taken the tissue paper away from the backgrounds of both of these. I just used an emery board just to go around it, and it comes really easily off. I've done the same with these two here. Aren't they pretty? The tissue paper one, which was this one here, came away really, really easily. Of course, this paper here is slightly thicker, but I think if you just bend it around the edges just to form a bit of a crease, and then go around it with an emery board, it might take a little bit longer just to get through the paper, but as you can see, it is coming neatly away. My first idea is to use a bottle cap. These ones here were from a craft store. You could also use one off a beer bottle. You know, they're much the same thing. Now, of course, they start off like this, and this one here is flattened. And let me show you how I did that. Work on a rubber mat. I've got a metal block, and all you do is put your cap down this way, and preferably use a rubber mallet. I can't, because I know where mine is. It's in the back of Sam's car, and he's down seeing his girlfriend. So I'm just going to use this nut crusher instead, and what you want to do is just bash down. I'm not going to do it on camera because it will be far too loud, but you just bash it a few times until it's completely flat like this. Once you've flattened it, you'll be left with this rim inside your bottle cap. What you want to do to get rid of that, because you won't be able to do anything with this until that's removed, heat it with your heat tool just to melt the rim of it and melt the glue that's holding it in place. I've melted that for long enough just for the glue to melt, and what I'm going to do is just use my pokey tool. You could use a pair of tweezers for this, and you just want to sort of get underneath it and just pull all of that plastic away. Sometimes you can get it off in one pull. Here it comes, you can see. And I'm just going to give this a pull. I might need to heat it a bit more, but just keep heating until all of that is removed. All you're looking to achieve with this is to get a flat enough surface for you to be able to glue your little disc down. So I'm just going to use some of the Aleene's, no, this is Anita's tacky glue. And I'm just going to put some, if I can squeeze it out, inside my disc, my bottle cap. Let's make sure I get plenty all over. Of course, this will dry clear. That should do fine. Let me just wipe my nozzle. I'm still sticking to my not using my my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to pop this inside. And of course, I'm just going to have to set this aside now for the glue to dry. But what a cute little embellishment that will be. Next idea is to make a paper clip. Before I do anything, I'm just going to ink around the edges using some Distress ink in frayed burlap. Let's glue the paper clip on the back. I'm using some acetone, which I've just popped onto a cloth here. I want to make sure I don't melt my nail polish, but I want to get rid of any grease or oils that might be on there. I'm going to be using E6000 for this, so I just want to apply a small amount. In fact, actually, let me grab a cocktail stick. Squeeze out a small amount of glue just onto this piece of paper here. You really don't need very much. This is the E6000 Plus, which doesn't have the odour that the old E6000 used to have. And all I'm going to do is just apply some of the E6000 just around the rim of my paper clip. E6000 is really strong. It's jewellery grade glue, so I know that this is not going to come unstuck. And then, in fact, actually, it's easier, I think, to turn it over and apply it straight to the back. And then of course this is going to take a little while to set, so I'm just going to apply a paper clip, a bulldog clip, just to hold that in place whilst it's whilst the glue is drying. Idea I had was using these coin holder capsules. I was gifted a few of these from my friend Debbie. Now this one here measures, let's have a look, an inch or 2.5 centimeters, and these are what coin collectors store their coins in. Now somewhere along here there's a little dip that you get your fingers into to open it. Of course, now that I'm on camera I can't find it. Here it is. So I'm just going to open this up. You can see that I've already inked around the edges of my little disc here, and I'm just going to pop this inside. Now you could either leave it like this and, you know, have it as an embellishment, or what I'm going to do is add a jewellery bail. I've got a jewellery bail here. This is what this looks like. This is a relatively small one. Again, let me just tell you, this one here is 3/4 of an inch, or 25, probably 22 millimeters in length, and width wise, let's have a look, it is about 7 millimeters, I would say. And again, I'm just going to use my E6000. I think the easiest way to apply this is to just put a dab onto a piece of cardstock or something similar, because you don't want to use too much of this because it oozes out all over the place. So I'm just applying this with a cocktail stick, and then I'm just going to attempt to get this as central as I can. Of course, once this is dry, you could either wear it as a pendant if you wanted to, or just pop a pin through it and you could attach it to a journal. But I'm just going to pop this off to one side just for that glue to set. My final idea, I've made another one of these. Again, I've inked around the edges, and this time, oh, there's a fly which is driving me mad. I hope you can't hear it buzzing around. It's because I've got all the doors and windows open because it's just so hot. I'm going to use my crocodile, and I'm using the smallest hole punch. I'm just going to punch a hole in this here like this, and then of course I can pop a little light bulb pin through it. Which colour shall we have? Let's use one of these gunmetal ones. This was sent to me by my friend Linda. She said, did I want any more light bulb pins? And she'd painstakingly attached them all to this piece of felt, so I've got an array of different colours to use. She's so kind to me, she really is. And then I'm just going to pop this through here, and again, that's just another way of attaching these beautiful little charms to your journals, or, you know, just the top of a tag, or anything really. They're just so pretty. As using these two are concerned, and you can probably tell I've inked around the edges as well, just to tone this one down a bit and make this one a little bit more vintagey and grungy. I could add these as embellishments onto a collage. I could use them as card toppers. I've also cut out a hole from a 3-inch square of craft cardstock. So this is my 2.5-inch punch, and I've cut this to 3 by 3. I could emboss around this if I wanted to, leave it as it is, add distress ink, just so many ways to use these. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and that it's given you some more ideas for using dried flowers in projects. I'll also leave the link to my playlist in the description box below, because I've got a whole series showing how to use dried flowers in many different ways. So these are just some new ideas that I've come up with. To share these with you as well. I've been around my garden again because, as I said at the beginning of the video, lots more flowers have started to bloom in my garden. So let me just show you what I've picked. Got these ones here. We've got some lavender. We've also got some of the flowers from one of my Hebes, some purple chives. These gorgeous ones, aren't they beautiful? I'm just trying to make sure that I've actually got this in camera shot for you. Some more here, absolutely beautiful. And then finally, I picked some more of these because I think those turned out absolutely beautifully. So we'll see how we get on with these. And once these are dried, I'll share some more pictures with you. there we are, that batch of flowers is now in my flower press. Of course, I'll leave the link to this flower press in the description box below. I do believe that this is now only available in the US. It's sold out in the UK, although I did find a square version of this, so I'll leave the details of that in the description box below. But if you've enjoyed today's video, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.